You sat alone where restless waves stamp secrets in the silent sand. Like a quiet turtle tucked inside a shell the world can't understand. Your eyes held the horizon, longing for a place to dream. All the hurt you pressed between pages, behind a gentle emerald sheen. I wandered down the shoreline, pockets full of gathered years. Like a quiet turtle, scared to let love tide drown all my tears. But when our shadows touched that dusk in golden trembling light, we peeked out from our hiding place. The whole sea paused that night. We are Raggedy Turtle Bloom. Ooh, shipwrecked souls that chase the sun. Shells, but now we journey on and on and on. Every page we stitch together, every shell we leave behind. In a world that rushes past us, I found your hand in mine. No storm will ever break apart the bond we made from ruins. We are Raggedy Turtle Bloom, wild and bright, a loving tune. You taught me how to listen to the lullabies of waves, to trust a battered heart can't find the rhythm that it craves. You taught me how to open to the rain and let it heal. We built a home from driftwood scraps where whispered hopes are real. Loving you was learning how to breathe beneath the tide. Impossible and wondrous when we stop the urge to hide. And let them say we're too late, too lost, too hidden to belong. They don't see how turtles blossom when the world feels so wrong. The gentlest touch can turn a shadow shell into a home for two. We're not what they all expected, but I'm so glad that I've got you. We are Raggedy Turtle Bloom. Ooh, shipwrecked souls that chase the sun. Shells, but now we journey on and on and on. Every page we stitch together, every shell we leave behind. In a world that rushes past us, I found your hand in mine. No storm will ever break apart the bond we made from ruins. We are Raggedy Turtle Bloom, wild and bright, a loving tune. We are Raggedy Turtle Bloom, wild and bright at the edge of the world with you.
Hi and welcome to my Raggedy Turtle Bloom paper premiere. This is Luise Heinzl. Nice to see you here today. If you are new here, then welcome to my channel, and if you're not new here, then welcome back. This is a very exciting day for me because I can't wait to share my new paper collection, Raggedy Turtle Bloom, with you, and with that, this journal I made with this paper collection. This video is a very special video for several different reasons. First, it's a YouTube premiere, so that means it's a special video on YouTube. The video itself is pre-recorded, so the video is not live, but we have a chat either here or here. Please search for that, depending on the device you are using to watch this. The chat is, either on the side of the frame or here on the bottom somewhere. And there you can find other like-minded junk journal and papercraft people, and also me. So I am also in the chat. If you can see my name there, and if you can see a little message there, then you know I sit in front of my computer right in the moment you are watching this, and I can chat with you there, and you can of course chat with the other people as well, not only with me, yeah. But the chat is something which I really, really appreciate, and that is also a reason why I do this, like I do it here with these premiere videos, because I would like to come in contact with you, and I would like to also give you the possibility to come in contact with other people who also like junk journaling or, you know, paper crafting in general, because with a digital paper collection you can of course do everything, not only junk journals. Just 2 little notes so that you understand what this is. Perhaps this is your first YouTube premiere you are watching. The video is not live, yeah? So when you ask something in the chat, then I can't answer directly in the video. You will not hear me saying an answer, speaking the answer, but you can see me typing the answer in the chat. So if you have any questions, then please feel free to leave a little comment there in the chat, and I will try my best to answer all of your questions, and yeah, I will try to chat with you. Hopefully that will be possible. I know when we had the last paper premiere, I was a little bit overwhelmed because there were so many people, and I had a little bit trouble to keep up with all of the messages, but I try my best to do that as fast as possible. And if you are German, you can also write in German, yeah? If you are here and you understand English, but you are German, then please just feel free to write your comments in German. I can then answer in German. Wenn hier irgendwelche deutschsprachigen Menschen anwesend sind, obwohl ihr vielleicht Englisch versteht oder obwohl ihr kein Englisch versteht, schreibt das einfach auf Deutsch hin. Ich versuche den Chat in beiden Sprachen irgendwie zu bewerkstelligen. Ich hoffe, dass mir das gelingen wird, aber ihr müsst euch da nicht irgendwie mit Englisch abmühen, wenn Deutsch eure Sprache ist. Ja, schreibt das einfach dann auf Deutsch hin und ich versuche das auf Deutsch zu beantworten. A second little note, and I say that because we had some confusions the last time, please search for live chat if you want to chat with me while you are watching this. You can only chat with me while this video is playing live. Yeah, afterwards in the replay, you can't write any chat messages anymore, but now when this is live, you can chat with me, and with the other people as well. But you need to search for live chat, and then you can write something there. And you can also see that the messages are like, you know, running over the screen. If you see that, you know you are in the live chat. If you don't see that the messages are moving, then you are not in the live chat. We had that during the last paper premiere, where some people had the problem that they left a comment under the video instead of writing something in the live chat. And that made that I couldn't see the messages. And afterwards, some people were like a little bit, disappointed or so because I didn't answer. But that was because you were in the wrong place for writing the messages. Yeah, you need to search for this little word where it says live chat and where the messages are moving. And there you can then type something and then I can see it. Obviously, I will also see your comments later, but not right in this moment while this video is running. So the second special thing about this video is that I would like to introduce you to my brand new paper collection, which is obviously called Raggedy Turtle Bloom. And I would like to show you a journal I made with those papers, and as you can see here already, with some additional papers and materials from my stash. And if you like what you see here, you are warmly invited to watch my upcoming videos as well, because we are going to do a little time travel. You will see the journal I made with the papers in today's condition in this video. And then in my upcoming videos, you will see parts of my process, how I made this journal. And I say parts because I haven't filmed everything. I have picked some little things here and there where I thought it could be interesting for you to see that, how that was made. And, you know, the boring stuff I did secretly off camera so that I don't need to wreck your nerves with things you already know. So that means in the upcoming videos, you will see some details and some techniques, some ideas and so on of several different things I have in the journal here. If you already now have any questions, obviously, please throw them into the live chat and I will try to answer them there. Or if you watch this video on replay, you can of course throw the questions in the comments then later and I will try my best to answer that as soon as possible. But just that you know that there will come some more videos about this and that this is not the only thing I will show you. And the third special thing about this video is something where I could scream because I needed to hold that for myself for such a long time. I needed to keep that as a secret for such a long time that it was nearly impossible for me to do that, because I wanted that you know that and that you can hear that and especially listen to that, because we have an official soundtrack for this paper collection. You have already heard that soundtrack in the very beginning of this video. That was also the reason why I said, please bring headphones for the paper premiere, because, you know, obviously you don't need headphones to listen to my voice and look to this here. But I thought I write that into my little reels and the little posts I made on social media so that you know that there will come something special. And I would be really interested, please write that in the chat now, who has read that? Who has noticed that I wrote, please bring headphones? I want to know that because, you know, when I record this, I have my reels done and, you know, I have made all of the preparation stuff. I have filmed the videos you will see in the next few days. And I'm sitting here with so much excitement that I wanted to make it exciting for you as well. Because what is this? I'm sharing my junk journal life here with you. And obviously, I want you to be part of my excitement as well. And I would be really, really interested in how many people have read that with the headphones. And then I would really be interested in the question or the answer to the question. Have you heard who has sang the song? I will take my little friend away here. I found him on Amazon. And I will have a sip of my coffee while you can think about that. Please write that in the chat, okay? It's so sad that this is pre-recorded and that I can't read this in this moment, what you write there now. Yeah, but it is what it is. But we don't only have a soundtrack for this paper collection, which is also called Raggedy Turtle Bloom, because if that wasn't cool enough, the soundtrack comes with the download of your paper. I will go into detail about that in a few seconds. And if that wasn't cool enough, the soundtrack was performed by no other than my wonderful friend Daniel Evans. Yes. If you haven't heard about him yet, please check out his social media. I will link everything down below for you. You can find him on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, nearly all of the streaming platforms. He has a website. He has everything. It's just incredible. I mean, you can't really oversee him because he is everywhere. And Daniel, if you are in the chat right now, you know, you are making me really nervous, but I'm really, really happy that you are here, if you are here, because, you know, I can't know that, but I'm pretty sure that you are in the chat. So if you can see his name there, then say hello to the one and only Daniel Evans. I'm so, so proud and I'm so honored that he said yes when I asked him if he wants to sing this song, which I have written by myself. And I don't know if you can imagine how crazy that feeling is when you write lyrics for a song and this song is obviously connected to this paper collection, and this song is also something special for myself. I will also go into detail about that a little later. I don't know if you can imagine how crazy that feeling is, in a really crazy, in a positive way, of course, when then those lyrics from just a piece of paper come to life in such an amazing way. And if you already follow me for a while, then you know how, yeah, how can I say that? I'm really addicted to Daniel's voice, and he gives me so much positive energy every time when I listen to his music, no matter if it's his live streams or whatever he does. He lifts my mood in such an incredible way. It's just amazing. And there are some things which are really personal for me, what he does to me, and what his voice is always doing with me and my soul and my heart. That is just incredible. And perhaps I sound like a broken record, but please check him out. If you don't know him, then you've missed something in your life. If you don't like what he does, okay, then go away, listen to something else. I mean, that is always, of course, personal preference, if you like something or if you don't like something. But if you don't check him out, then you really miss a chance to get something really beautiful. And yeah, just do it, okay? Go to his social media and check him out. He also does regular live streams on Instagram and TikTok. If you want the better quality, go to TikTok. I say Instagram as well, because not everyone who is watching these videos has also TikTok. I think there are not so many people who have TikTok. But if you have TikTok, go to TikTok. There he has also his little stories where he tells you exactly when he is live. And also on Instagram, but you can check that out. And if you ever think, ooh, what is Luise doing? Little note, if Daniel is live, you know where I am. So if you want to find me, then you know that I'm there and that I listen to his music. So, okay. And then let's first talk about what's included in the paper collection. And then let's take a deeper look at this journal. You could see I've, already, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I had a tiramisu before I started recording this. That was probably not the best idea. So you could see I have already started flipping through this, but I will of course also show you all of the things which are in the pockets, all of the ephemera and so on. But I first wanted to give you an overview over what's included in the paper collection, because then you can have a better imagination of the whole thing. So the first thing you can get are the Raggedy Turtle Bloom Junk Journal pages. What is that? That is a collection of full pages which you can print on a full-sized, sheet of paper. This collection comes in DIN A4, but listen carefully. You can print every DIN A4 printable to US letter-sized paper as well. I get so many messages where the people say, oh no, it's DIN A4, but I have US letter, now I can't print it. You can print it. The only thing you have to have in mind when you do that is that you tell your printer to not resize the image to the paper. If you would do that, you would lose parts of the image somewhere. If you say, please just print it, but without resizing the image to the paper, you will get a little border somewhere, which you can, a white border where just the paper is, which you can cut off or decorate. Imagine, make a pocket or so, glue that over that, decorate it with washi tape or some other decorative elements, or just cut it off. Yeah, but you can print DIN A4 to US letter size paper. That's absolutely no problem. If you need help with that, please message me via my Etsy shop or write me an email or whatever. Yeah, call me if you have problems. Call me if you have problems with printing. Don't call me if you have problems at all, okay? Because that would perhaps be a little bit too much calls. You know what I mean. So that is the first thing you can get, the junk journal pages, which are the full pages. The second thing you can get is the Raggedy Turtle Bloom ephemera pack. What is that? all of the ephemera, like cards, tuck spots, little things like postage stamps, which you can also turn into tuck spots or whatever you want. In the ephemera pack, there are tags, for example, these smaller tags in different designs, also bigger tags. You can also find pockets in the ephemera pack, obviously, little banners and so on, envelopes. So here is, for example, one of the pockets. There are pockets in different sizes. What did I miss? Tags, journaling cards. There are also 2 pockets which are a little special because, where is that now? Because you can make a pocket which is printed from the front and the back. It's just a little thing which you can assemble, and then you have something where you can, for example, make a flip out. All of these things are included in the ephemera pack. And then there is a third item available in my shop, which is called Raggedy Turtle Bloom Junk Journal Kit. Listen carefully if you are new here or if you are confused in general. I'm just kidding, okay? The junk journal kit is nothing else than the pages plus the ephemera in one item. Yeah, don't get confused. There have been so many people who thought, I want everything. You have been so excited, and obviously that makes me very, very happy. But it leads to problems. When you are too excited, it may lead to some problems. I'm just joking. But the pages plus the ephemera is the kit. So that means if you want to have everything of this paper collection, you can just buy the Raggedy Turtle Bloom Junk Journal Kit. You don't have to buy the pages and the ephemera pack, because with the kit you already have that. Yeah, I've done that because I wanted to have something for every budget. Some people say, okay, I already have turtle themed ephemera. I only need the pages because I don't have a journal and I want to make a journal and then throw my own ephemera in there. Or for some, it might be the other way around, where you say, okay, I already have a journal, but I don't know which ephemera I could throw in there, and the turtle theme is something I like. Then you could take the ephemera pack and throw the ephemera in your journal, which you already have made. Or perhaps you think, I want everything because I like Luise, I like her papers, I need everything, I'm a collector of Heinzl stuff. Then please just buy the kit, then you have everything. Okay? And the soundtrack I've just talked about, the Raggedy Turtle Bloom song, comes with each of those items. So no matter if you buy the junk journal pages or the ephemera pack or the kit, you will always get the song as an extra thing with your download. It's automatically included. Yay! That is cool, isn't it? Okay. Hopefully, I have covered everything you might want to know. And I also thought, why not? Shall we perhaps start in the back with the detailed flip through? I think that would make sense for several different reasons. Let's even do it like this. Perhaps you, what is this? Perhaps you want to also know something about the cover. I thought that could also be interesting, but I think I will I will start the flip through from here, because it's just good. Okay, so now I have a problem. I quickly need to stop this here, but for you it will be just a second, because my technical issues are so frustrating. I can't see what I'm filming anymore because my iPad stopped mirroring the screen. Here we go. Is that true? I paused the video and then when I just wanted to leave my camera app to restart the mirroring app, it was working again. Now I can see what I'm doing here, and that feels comfortable. I'm so sorry. So what is this? Hardcover. Knock knock. I did a similar thing like on my last journal, which was the Tattered Bunny collage book. What is this? You can see this journal is just, like it has just dried. I finished it yesterday evening, and now it needs obviously a little bit of, hairdresser treatment or so. Because what I have here is nothing else than a journal you could have on your desk as well after, I would say, 4 or 5 days after printing the papers. Yeah, so this is something like a really raw condition. You can see here is nothing yet. To this one person who has asked me if this will stay like it is. Yeah, there are those persons you have in your life where you think, okay, I will give her a sneak peek because she is my friend and she has deserved to see this before anyone else will see it. And then the first reaction is, will this stay like it is? Obviously not. I will put something on here. But I wanted to show you this in this condition because there's nothing wrong with if it would stay like it is. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with if this spine would stay like it is. It will probably not, but there would be nothing wrong. And that's what I want to show you because we all have a different amount of time we can spend in junk journaling or paper crafting in general. And I want to show you something where you can say, okay, I can imagine how the paper collection would look in a journal. Of course, this is only one example. I can't show you everything, but it's an example how it could look. And I want you to see how these papers look in a bound journal and not just, flipping through loose papers here on my desk. I think it's way easier to understand and to get a feeling for a paper collection and also making a decision if you want to have it or not when you see that in a journal instead of loose papers in front of you or in front of me on your screen. Do you know what I mean? So that's the reason why I do it like I do it. And here I did something you already have seen on my Tattered Bunny collage book. And yes, this time I did film how I made this spine. You can hopefully see that this spine again has these little strips here. I need to ink them, so this is not the finished condition, so that we can see them better. And perhaps I will also glue something on here, perhaps some labels or tiny snippets or something with writing or so, I don't know yet. But the last time when we had the other journal, you have asked me how I did that the spine is curved like this. You can see it's not straight, but it's curved. And how I did this stuff here with these little strips. And I have made a video, which is coming very soon. So, subscribe, stay tuned. You know what to do if you want to see this. This is just some fabric from an old curtain. And here I did something, and that you will see in the video with the spine as well. There we construct the whole base for the cover, by the way. So if you have never made a hardcover like this, and you want to know how to make a curved spine, and if you want to know how to make such a fabric, then watch that video where we make the cover. Everything is covered there. Covered. So this is some fabric from an old curtain. And I have just thrown some coffee and rust water on this. And then I did something with my iron. And then suddenly I had this. And I wanted to show you this before I add other things here. Because at least on the front cover here, I want to add something and make some decoration. You know how my journals normally look. And I want something like that here as well. But I wanted you to see this. I mean, this could be really, really nice if you wanted to travel with a journal like this. If I would take this and, have that as a travel journal, I would definitely leave this as it is until after my travel and then decorate that, because in this condition you can easily put that into a bag without any problems, and you can take it around with you without having the decoration in danger. Yeah, if you would say I want to have something like this here on the front, or I mean, can you guess why I bought him? This is the plan. If you want to have something like this, then it would be not only very heavy to carry that around, but also a little bit like not so handy. Yeah, but nothing wrong with a cover like this, and perhaps also leaving it like this, even if you don't want to travel with it. Yeah, so this material is just some cardboard, 3 millimeters, I guess, thickness, I mean. But you will see all of that in the video about making the cover as well. So then I made it really grungy here again. Is that necessary for this paper collection? No, definitely not. You could definitely also go with orange, red, turquoise for the cover. Even any other color would work, I think, because these colors in the print will, I would say they are so versatile regarding the colors which could match. It's just incredible. When I have searched for the matching colors from my Ranger shelf, you know, I mainly work with the Ranger mediums, Ranger and Tim, and there I thought, yeah, well, I can use whatever I want and everything fits. Yeah, that was really, really strange, in a positive way strange, because that is not that is a little bit rare that nearly everything fits. Yeah, but I will go more into detail about the colors in a second, which I then really have used. So this is just some embossed stamping. I stamped on the fabric when the cover was already constructed, I mean without the signatures, with embossing ink, and then I've thrown some black embossing powder on here, just the super fine detail, how is that called? Super fine detail black embossing powder by Ranger, this here. Could you do that with normal embossing powder, which is not super fine as well? I think so, but I made the experience that on fabric that works better when you have the super fine detail embossing powder. And I also re-inked my embossing ink pad before I stamped, because I made the experience, and that is something I have not so I haven't practiced it, and I don't have enough examples to say it is really what it is. But I think when we stamp on fabric and we want to emboss that, we need a juicy embossing ink pad, the better the stamp impression gets. Because, I mean, that's a logical thing, isn't it? When you have the embossing ink, then it soaks a little bit into the fabric, and then the embossing ink is perhaps not so sticky anymore because it's in the fabric, and then you have a hard job to get the embossing powder on there. But here, that worked really, really well. A little bit got stuck to the fabric, but I then just have taken it, put it over my trash can and flicked a little bit from the back, and then I have embossed it. This is a stamp by Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz. It's from the Faded Type set. The number is CMS 397. Why do we start the flip through from here, from the back? I think that makes sense, because this journal is turtle themed, yes, but I also have some other elements in here. You can immediately see that when you only look at this page. It is called Raggedy Turtle Bloom, yes, and then when something says bloom, you would perhaps expect some flowers, some blossoms or so. But it also has a lot of other elements. It also has things which are pretty abstract but remind to turtles, like this stenciled pattern here, for example. This is just some... I made that such a long time ago. What is this? It could be... I think this is opaque texture paste by Tim Holtz and Ranger. And on here, crackling campfire spray stain. And to be honest, I don't know what this is. This could be frayed burlap, but please don't scream if that is not correct, okay? I wanted to have this turtle themed, yes, but not necessarily very crazily ocean themed, because with this paper collection I also have a special message. And you can, if you have listened to the song, perhaps already tell some details about that message, but it's also something really private, and not necessarily private. It started as a private thing, and then I decided that I want to talk about that and give my message to you as well, instead of just telling it myself. But it is something where I learned a lot about myself and how I act in our creative community, and also towards other people who are not necessarily creative. But I will go in detail about that later in this video, and also in my upcoming videos that I have picked some aspects of this message where I thought it's worth to go a little more into detail, but not everything in this video, okay? And because of this thing, that it's not so like typical turtle, ocean, the sea, and blah 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 themed, because of that, I have mushrooms here, and that is also the reason why I started from the back. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Because it's not such a typical thing. Could you make it extremely ocean themed and glue each and every shell you have found on your last holiday into your journal? Yes, of course. Obviously, yes. And I also had an idea which I want to put into one of my next videos. You will not see that in the journal yet, but I had that idea yesterday. I will not tell you what it is, but you will be surprised. I think you will be really, really surprised, because this journal will change in the future. I made that decision yesterday, and I thought, okay, that is perhaps a really cool thing, like a challenge, like an experiment or so, which we could do together in one of the next videos. But, you know, you have to wait a little bit, because the next videos will first be about the other things, yeah, and then later on you can see what I'm talking about right now. I'm a little bit nervous, because that could also end in a disaster. But what is junk journaling? Junk journaling is also being brave somehow, and trying things where you perhaps think, I have never done that before. Can I do it? Yes, you can do it. But sometimes we need to come out from our shells. And that is exactly this picture of the turtles we have in that song as well. Because the two turtles in that song are really, really quiet and shy in the beginning. And then when they meet, they are able to grow. They show each other their love for each other. And they are also able to heal each other. And that is a very, very strong picture for me. Before I go into that, I would quickly like to let you know that I also have mixed some other papers from my shop in this journal. So what I did was, I have printed the Raggedy Turtle Bloom Junk Journal pages to 110 GSM matte photo paper. And this specific photo paper has the photo surface only on one side. On the other side, there is that is like normal copy paper. And on some of the pages, I have left the backside white. So here you can see, here's one of the Raggedy Turtle Bloom Junk Journal pages on the photo surface. And on the other side, I left it blank, and then I have thrown coffee and rust water on it to make it this dark here. Because, you know, when you, perhaps you don't know that, when you mix coffee and rust water, then you get this really dark color, which nearly is, the longer you leave it, it would turn black then. But I wanted it not completely black, but this grayish tone here. And then I have embossed with white embossing powder, stenciled over it, and so on, and did my stuff on here. But what I'm trying to say is, on some of the back sides of the Raggedy Turtle Bloom Junk Journal pages, I have done this. And on some other pages, I have printed something else from my shop. So this here, for example, is from my Butterfly Flowers background pages. This is from my Ocean Eyes junk journal pages. I will link everything down below in the description box for you. I thought this fits well, so I thought I'd throw it in here. But besides the fact that I find that it matches the Raggedy Turtle Bloom paper collection really well, I wanted to show you that you can, of course, also mix and match the new paper collection with something else. Go through your printables you already have on your computer and look what fits color-wise or theme-wise, and then just print that to the back, and you have a nice variety of papers then. And also for those people, and that is why I made that, because also for those people who don't have such a big stash yet, yeah, perhaps you just have started with junk journaling, then you might want to consider something like this, that you have the digital paper here and another digital paper here, yeah, so that you already have a variation and that you don't only have the same papers from the same collection in your journal. Would that be a problem? Obviously not. You could also throw one and the same paper collection in one journal, yeah, but the character of a journal, and yeah, I would say it's also more fun when you put different pages into a junk journal. I mean, why do we call it a junk journal? Because it's a collection of so many different things, right? And then when you don't have such a big stash, or you don't have a trash can where you can jump in and take the things out, like special papers, like, you know, perhaps you don't have access to flea markets or such things where you could get other papers, then digital paper could be a good solution, because you can just print that at home and then you have it there, and, you know, you can then throw it in. I also made some other papers here with some special techniques, which you can find in my What If series, which I started, relatively new on my channel. When you see this video, I think, is already online. If I'm mistaken, I apologize. I'm a little bit confused at the moment, because I don't know if the video where I made this paper is already online when you see the paper premiere or not. But if it's not online yet, then it will come very soon. That was just mind-blowing. This here is from the Mushroom book, which is also a printable, which you can find in my shop. As I said, I will link everything down below. And I thought it makes sense for me and for the story which is behind this paper collection that I mix and match different things. That's also why I have decided for some floral edge decorations here instead of, for example, shells or seagrass, typical ocean things or so, yeah. I could also have taken some, I always forget the name. I can show you what I mean here. These little guys. I could also have taken something like this or other shells or so and put that around my pages here for these little decorations. But I decided to take these flowers to give these turtles somehow a little bit different home. That is also why the paper collection is called Raggedy Turtle Bloom, because it's like a picture for what they are experiencing in their life, which is happening in this journal. I think somehow I am like these turtles in the song. And I'm assuming that some of you can relate to that feeling. And this is really pretty emotional for me, because it started, as I said, as a pretty private thing. And now I decided that I want to share that with you, because I think we need to think about that, and we can then perhaps also appreciate a little bit more what we have here and what we have with our community. The turtles are inside their shells in the beginning of the song, and they are really quiet. They don't show what they are, and they don't show what they can do / what they can create to the rest of the world. They are also sad somehow, because they feel the need to hide. And I think there's nothing which is, as a creative person, as difficult and terrible than feeling the need to hide. Because when you create something, then, at least for my understanding, you perhaps also want to hear excitement, an opinion, something from another person. And for that, to hear that, you need to share it. Yeah, because when you keep it for yourself, and if you stay in your shell and no one else sees what you have created, then you can't get a feedback. But I think as an artist, or even if you don't consider yourself an artist, but I think, I mean, if you're watching this video, then you must be an artist, because why is this, what is the reason why you are here? Yeah, I'm sure you are an artist. And sometimes we perhaps also have this feeling that we don't see ourselves as an artist, even if we are an artist. But when you show what you have done to the world is often who tells you that you are an artist. Do you know what I mean? There are so many people who are hiding, like these turtles, and who don't show what they have done. Many comments under my videos on Instagram and so on, private messages, emails I get. You write, Luise, I'm totally in awe with what you are doing, and when I'm grown up, I want to be like you, all of that. And there are so many who share then in private messages with me what they have done. And when I see that, my eyes are like falling out, because I think, why the heck are you sending that only to me? Why the heck are you sharing that only with me and not with the rest of the world? Obviously, that is a personal decision, and I don't want to force anyone to share something, yeah? If you say, I'm inside my shell, I'm happy there, and I'm in my craft room, you know, as a picture for the shell, I'm happy there. And I'm totally happy when I can do something for myself. I don't feel the need to share anything. Yeah, okay. Please be happy with that. Yeah, there is nothing wrong with an attitude like that. Obviously not. But I am talking about, and to those people who want to share and who want a feedback, who say, I would love to share what I have done, but I'm too shy to do that. And I want to be really honest, because I'm always honest here. I find it really hard, and I think I've already just done it, when you say, go to the world, show it to the world, yeah, leave your shell, leave your craft room, go to social media, make an Instagram account, make a YouTube channel, share this stuff. It is so hard to say that, and at the same time, I know it's probably the only way to do it. Yeah, because as a junk journaler, you don't have so many possibilities to take your junk journal, go to your neighbors and say, look, I made art. If you do that, you all know, that's so weird, but we all know what will happen then. If you would take this and show that to a normal person, yeah, they will look at you like they would smell milk, which is 4 months old, outside of the fridge. Do you know what I mean? The face those people make when you say, look here, this is my art, this is a junk journal, the face you will see from the other people is always the same. And we all know this facial expression, don't we? And I think the people who see this as art, and I mean, I'm not talking about like-minded people, I'm not talking about our community, I'm talking about the other people, the rest of the world, yeah? They are all nearly the same. I think there are only a few people, which are really rare, who don't have to do anything with junk journaling and who can see this as art. I love those people. I love them all. Because those are the people who give me a lot of motivation and a feedback in a very special way. And if you know those people, you know what I'm talking about. For example, Daniel is one of those people. When he saw my things for the first time, that was approximately after the Tattered Bunny collage book paper premiere, where he also was in the chat. He has written so many wonderful messages, not only in the chat but also afterwards, where I thought, holy moly, how is it possible that a person who has nothing to do with junk journaling can see the beauty in junk journaling? How is it possible that such a person can be fascinated by junk journaling? And I think those people are really rare. They are really special, and they have this special eye for something, and they also have a special heart and a special soul. That it must be like that, because otherwise that couldn't be possible, because we know so many other people who don't react like that. Not that it is important that everyone reacts in the same way. Yes, I got you. Yeah, I got you. But I think you know those people who say, here, what have you done? Photo paper, and you have put texture paste to your glass mat, and then you have put the photo paper on there, and then you were wondering why everything has fallen off. Why would you do that? Why don't you go to a party? Why don't you go to a holiday? Why don't you put your into the airplane and fly to Spain or so? Yeah, why not? Because we like to do things like this. And that is also a thing where I can sometimes get really aggressive when people say, yeah, what are you doing as your hobby and for a living? You are gluing paper to paper? You jump into trash cans, you go to flea markets to buy or collect weird stuff, and then you glue that together, and then you have what? A book? This is not a book, it's like a trash can which was glued together. What are you doing? That has to do a lot with this argument, junk journaling. That is like paper crafting in the kindergarten. You need scissors and you need glue, and then that's it. It is like only gluing stuff together, and there's no meaning behind it. You can't learn something for your life. Has nothing to do with your mental health or so. There are many people who think like that and who say, yeah, well, it's only paper. But for me, it is way more. And that is also something which I wanted to bring into that song. It can connect people. It can build friendships. It can bring even more than that. I mean, that is already much, a lot. But it can also bring love between people. And I really need to concentrate that I don't cry now. Because when I look back, just a few years back, and when I watch my older videos, and please, stay here, don't go now. Don't think, that could be a great idea to watch Luise's very first videos. Don't do that, Don't do that now, don't do that at all, okay? I'm just kidding. I know you will do it. But perhaps it's also good when you do that, because when I see myself in my first days, weeks, years of junk journaling, and I see myself now, then obviously I see a difference. It would be really crazy if I wouldn't see a difference. And I find it really important that we see that for ourselves, that we can appreciate what we have learned, and that we can see that we have grown. That is the one thing. And as I said earlier, if you want to get a feedback, then obviously social media is a great place. Post your things on Instagram or on Facebook, or make a YouTube channel or whatever you want, and then you could get a feedback. And if you share that there, you can also then, after a few years or so, or weeks or whatever you want, months, look back at that and see how much you have grown and how much the things you do have changed. And on the other hand, I find it so crazy how many friends you can find through just paper. And if then those people tell me that this is just paper, then I want to scream and be a little bit aggressive and run through my room and turn into a little monster, because I need to say something against that, because it is just more than only paper. It's our community. We have made that, and we have built this community and the love in the community. Everyone is so generous, and you help each other with, you know, with everything, even with bigger things. I mean, how many big problems have we had in our community, and we have solved them together. And also when, for example, we have lost someone in the community, we have been there together, even if we are like sprinkled all over the world. Yeah. And that is something really, really extraordinary. I mean, how many people are out there who have a ton of neighbors, but they don't talk to them, or the neighbors don't talk to you? But that would not happen in our community, because this junk journal community is just love. It's just love. And there are so many people who experienced what these turtles have experienced, that they were shy in the beginning, and then they came out from their shells and they experienced the love. And if you are new in this community, please just stay here, okay? And then perhaps you haven't experienced it yet, but you will, I'm sure. Okay, so keep calm, Luise. For the colors which would fit to this paper collection. I know that is a change of topic which is really extreme, but you know me for that. So as you can see, the pages are alternating between this like turquoise red color scheme and the orange red yellow scheme. For this year, for these, you know, which are in this color scheme, I would say tumbled glass, stormy sky, tiniest bit of peacock feathers. For some of the flowers around here, I have used peacock feathers. Perhaps you have seen my video where we made these layered flowers. So, oh, sorry, that is not correct. This is another material, but this here is peacock feathers. And also, you see the colors are mixed a little bit here, but if you add, I would say, a little bit of peacock feathers, then it's not too much. I wouldn't overload my journal with peacock feathers, but that's personal preference. Perhaps you want to try it and make a peacock feathers themed journal and then throw the pages in. Perhaps that might work for you, but I stayed, and that's what I'm trying to say, with the more muted blues and teals, because I thought that fits better. For the orange, I have mainly used crackling campfire, a tiny little bit, also like only for the flowers, a little bit of spiced marmalade, and carved pumpkin. But the main, let's say the main color is crackling campfire in the oxide and the ink version. Then for the browns, frayed burlap works really well. For the grays, lost shadow and perhaps pumice stone is also really great, because it's such a warm brownish gray, grayish brown. Depending on if you see the ink or the oxide ink. What is pumice stone for you? Wait, I need to pick it. I want to make a little things. How is that said in English? I don't know the word. What is that for you? For me, the Distress Ink pumice stone is a grayish brown, a very light grayish brown, but it's a grayish brown. And the oxide ink is for me a brownish gray. Would you agree? Is that important? No, definitely not. For the orange pages here, the yellow-orange pages, wild honey could be a good match. Also, you could also try fossilized amber, or even the tiniest bit of squeezed lemonade. And you can hear my list is very long. That's because what I said like 2 hours ago or so, nearly every color would fit here. That is really crazy. For example, here, that was really surprising for me because these page tabs I made a while ago. Perhaps you recognize the basis of these page tabs. I had something similar in my typewriter journal I made a while ago. And then I had some of these left over, and without this journal in mind, I made these collages and prepared some of the page tabs so that I had them in my stash and then, you know, that I could just grab them. And look, this purple here, how well that fits to the colors. I'm so sorry, the colors in here, because here's a little bit of this bluish purple as well. This, I would say, is nearly like Dusty Concord. And yeah, perhaps even the tiniest bit of Villainous Potion, but be careful with Villainous Potion and orange, yeah? You know what I mean. Could work, but try that out. I wish I had the time to make like 3 or 4 more journals with this paper collection, just to try out the different color combinations which would be possible for this, because it's just, yeah, it's really crazy. Even a color like this, I think, fits. Can you see that? I've tried to get a connection from, I mean, this is neutral, yeah, from the coffee and the rust water, and this fits really well together. But here is this crazy orange, which is a little bit like in a fight with this yellow, also here. But with the stenciling here, which is Crackling Campfire Oxide ink on this paper, it somehow matches then again. And when you then take something like ephemera and put that in here, like tags or other things, so that this is not so massive, the size is not so big, what you can see from this, I mean, then it's even more harmonious. And please imagine you would take this out and journal on here, for example, in white or so, with a white gel pen. It would match perfectly this stamping here. This is made with the Bubbles stamp and white embossing powder. Bubbles stamp by Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz. I think you know this stamp. Oh, I needed to switch to water. Oh, holy cow. Summer is coming. I feel like dried out. Perhaps it's because of this coffee. A little bit too much coffee. Could be. I also have thrown in some of my labels, which I made from my Schrank. Schrank, that's the German word for cabinet. Perhaps you have seen the video where I have introduced you to those. I made a whole ephemera pack, which is called Vintage Labels Der Schrank, which means Vintage Labels the Cabinet. I bought a cabinet here in yeah, like flea market store or so. How do you say that? Second-hand store, a really vintage cabinet. And in the drawers of the cabinet, there have been these cool written things. And I have digitized those, and, you know, these frames I made digitally by myself. But all of these things come from my cabinet. I will link this printable for you down below as well. I think this is really versatile for several things. You know, if you want to make these little decorations on the edges of the pages, you could combine that with page tabs, as you can see here. You can throw them on a cover, for example, or for using it for writing dates or whatever you want. I find that really nice. And I wanted that some of these things, these little clusters I have on the edges, are a little bit bigger. You can see on nearly all of the pages, I have these little decorative elements here made from these little snippets. And then I have also mixed that with the labels so that we have a little variation in size. These snippets I made with the Curator stamp set by Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz. They have all of these little things here. And there's also another one, how is that called? Tidbits, I think. Yeah, I think Tidbits. Shall I show those to you? That could be helpful, couldn't it? So here we go. This is Curator CMS 493. If you think, I know these little things here, that could be because these are also available in the ideology line. So you could also buy these little snippets, like, you know, printed and already cut and so on. But I really like this stamp set because then you can also do other colors than they are in the ideology pack. For example, I made these gray ones here, really, really light. And I can then obviously take the colors I need for the journal and make those snippets in the colors I need, compared to the ideology pack, which is, I'm totally in love with the Curator snippets pack. Yeah, don't get me wrong. That is one of my most used items ever from the ideology line. But Tim, if you're watching, this is just genius. I've waited for this stamp set for such a long time. I was already like, you know, will he do that one day? And then it came and I was like freaking out because this is just amazing. And you can stamp them all at once and then cut them apart. And this is the Tidbits CMS 488. Also really cool. And especially when you mix the snippets made from both of these, you get a really nice variation. And another or two other sets which you also could consider for making something like these snippets is this do I say that right? Eccentric, I think. CMS 448. Or even the field notes set, CMS 396, would be really cool for this because it has these little numbers, and also things like this you could take for making something like this if you don't have this printable or if you don't want to have it. But obviously some board labels, or perhaps you have label stamps or so, you could do it with that as well. This is also a stamp by Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz. I have this new... Look, this is the perfect background. This is from my butterfly flowers backgrounds, and I have stamped this like randomly in the journal, and then this is planned to put something else on top so that it then gets like a little background. And I the whole time I want to pet these turtles because I find them just so cute and elegant, and yeah, somehow, what could be a good word for that? I have respect for them because they look so intelligent at the same time. I mean, cute and intelligent. That is something, that's a good combination, isn't it? So here I made a little thing which can fold open like this. Here we need probably some more decoration, but I made this here from some ideology paper. These little round circles come from my typewriter ephemera pack. These tags are also from a printable. Is that from the Crafty Critters neutral ephemera pack? I don't know. I need to look that up. I've just taken them from my stash because they fit in here perfectly. And then we can take this little fluffy thing here and close this here. This is just a brad, and here I've added an eyelet so that I can have this little like coin envelope closure thing. And what I also want to include is more buttons, because I think that is also something which fits really, really well to this collection. This is just a greeting card where I have cut the back off, and then, you know, I had this little thing here, which is automatically then like a little flip. And then you can see this page in total instead of having the rest of the greeting card here. This is from my ledger printable. I will also link that down below for you. These are all ledgers I have collected over the years, and then I have scanned them, and I made these little scratches and these little ink splatters here digitally. And yeah, also some of the snippets from the Tattered Bunny collage book, these red snippets here. You know, perhaps my struggling with the red when I tried to make these match the other paper collection. And here they fit really, really well. This is a really wild mixture. I can't really remember. Lumberjack plaid, fired brick, perhaps. I don't know. I can't remember so well. I would need to watch the other video. again, but that doesn't matter. Just play around with the colors you have, and then you find out that nearly everything would fit. I also have the lyrics for you on one of the junk journal pages from this set. So this here, you know, is on one half of the pages, and it's the complete lyrics of the song. And you can also find our handles here. So if you want to find us on social media, I mean, you already found me when you watched this, but if you want to find Daniel, then you can find his handle here as well. And you have the lyrics here if you want to sing along, or perhaps you want to write them with your own handwriting into your journal, or perhaps you want to throw them into the trash can. Do whatever you want with them. I have included them in the paper collection because so many of you have asked after the other songs I have published if you can have that, and I've decided to do this here for the first time like I did it here now, so that you can get the soundtrack with the download and that you can also have the lyrics, because that is the easiest way for me to do it. And yeah, I hope that you like that and that I could fulfill a wish you had with doing it like that. This here is just a little piece of packaging from a stamp set. You can see there is, you know, like plastic. I really liked the idea of having some glossy and transparent things in here. When you buy a stamp set, then, you know, there's this plastic all around here. I've just cut that into the right size, but then you have something which has two layers. Yeah, so because, you know, it's like a sleeve. And here I've just thrown some mica flakes and some of the snippets in between of these layers, and then I've sewn around so that they are, you know, in there. And then this transparent pocket has this effect that it is like a little shaker. So if you would shake the whole journal, I don't know if you can see that. I mean, it's possible to shake it and then it will move, but it's really hard for me to do that here under the camera because I don't want to have the camera falling off. But, you know, when you put the journal like so and you move it, then these little things move as well. And this reminded me to a beach somehow, and little like these little glass things you can find on the beach, or shells or so. You could even put like flat shells into a pocket like this. I find that a really interesting idea. Here again, a piece of my bathroom accident. Perhaps you remember when I moved from Austria back to Germany, I had the renovation of my apartment here, and I did something in my bathroom that went totally wrong, but I got a nice piece here for my journal now. This is some translucent sticker paper with some alcohol ink on it, and then I've glued that to some ledger paper because of the accident. Don't ask. Yeah, here is another of the tags from the ephemera pack. On nearly all of the back sides of the ephemera, I have also thrown my rust water coffee mixture so that you have a little journaling space here and that it's not white. Nothing wrong with white, yeah. Do you like this color on here? Is that too much? Is it too pink? I'm still not sure if I will leave this as it is or not. It came out so pink. I don't know. This is fired brick oxide ink on the photo paper here. And the oxidation turned out really extreme, as you can see. And because of that, it looks so chalky, but at the same time a little bit pink. I don't know. Perhaps I will add some black accents or so with a pen. I'm not so sure. Perhaps it will stay like it is. Perhaps sometimes, you know, when you look longer at the things, then suddenly you like them. I don't know if it will be the fact here as well or not, but we will see. Because I want to do more in this journal. This is, you know, just to show you how the paper collection can look when you have done a few things. I know many of you say, oh, this looks like a finished journal and it's already a lot what you have in there. Yes, I agree. If you are not like me, if you are a minimalist, then this looks like a lot, yes. But if you know me, then you know that my journals normally are pretty busy because I want to express myself in my journals. My journals are my art, and because of that, they are like packed with a lot of ideas, and there's not so extremely much journaling space left. But if you would say there's no journaling space left, then I would say you are wrong, because you can journal nearly everywhere. Yeah, even on a page like this, where you say, okay, here is a lot of texture paste, it feels really rough. It is rough, yeah, it has a ton of texture. But imagine some vellum, which you would tuck under here, or staple on here, or use a paperclip or something to put it on there. Then you could still journal on here. You would have the page in the background showing through the translucent vellum, and then you could still journal on here. Also, all of these belly bands, pockets, and so on, you can use to put something in. Even here. Why can't you journal here? Do you know what I mean? This tag here, I made in one of the upcoming videos. This was a really big surprise. When I made this, I was so surprised about myself, especially because of these butterflies here. These are little fabric butterflies. I haven't expected that I would glue them all on here. Really crazy. One of these I turned into this little like flower thing, but at first glance it looks like butterfly, 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 but this has, you know, more layers. But I wanted to have an odd number of butterflies, and this came out really, really, yeah, cool, but it was a surprise. Originally, this tag was in here, in this belly band, and then when I wanted to put it back here, I thought, why shall I, attention, connection to the song, why shall I hide it behind the belly band? And that is something I often experience with my journals, that I create things and then I somehow can't put them into a pocket. I can't put them into their shell to stay in the picture of the song. And I wanted to ask you, what would you think if we would take this and put that like so here, tuck that behind these little snippets, and that is obviously not safe. Ooh, yeah, well, it stays here, but why did it fall out a second ago? I mean, have you seen that a second ago? When I flipped, it was like falling out. Now it stays in here. But what would you think if we clip it here with paper clips so that it is really secure there? What would you prefer? Having it here or here in the shell? Because sometimes I think when you have something like this and it was a surprise when you made it and you surprised yourself, what the heck happened to this paperclip? Oh my goodness, look. It's not what it's supposed to look like. When you do something like this and you surprise yourself, is it then the better way to show it and also show it to yourself? Yeah, if you put it here and you flip through the journal, then you will see it the next time. Or would you put it there where it originally was and where you planned to put it? What would you do? Perhaps I will change my mind after I have read your opinion about that, but for the moment I want to leave it here. You could also, of course, take this and glue that down somewhere as a tuck spot. Yeah, just put glue under here, and then you could tuck something behind. I don't want to glue it to this page because I want to have the page in its full beauty so that I can, you know, remove this completely and then see this pattern of the page there. This I made ages ago. Here again, a packaging from a stamp. Here you can even see that it was a packaging from this little thing, you know, where you hang it to the shelf. Just some stenciling and stamping in the background. Here I've used one of my collage strips. There's a video about these collage strips available as well. I called it probably the easiest way to make collage strips. Here I've used my vintage specimen strips, but you could do that idea with nearly any other paper as well, I would say. And for the splatters I have already on some of the pages, I guess he will come more splatters when I work further on this. But here I found out something that was nearly like a coincidence or a happy accident or so. I had my little jar where I have my white paint mixed with water in here. So normally here is white acrylic paint in the jar mixed with some water so that I can make my white splatters. And then I realized when I wanted to splatter that the jar is nearly empty. And I spritzed water in here originally to clean this because it is a little bit dried out here on the sides, and I wanted to clean it before I fill it up again with acrylic paint and water. And then I thought, wait, perhaps this is just enough to splatter. And I was, to be honest, too lazy to clean it and then, you know, come back, fill it up and blah, blah, blah. So I splattered with the rest in here, mixed with even more water than I would normally put in here. And then I found out how translucent these splatters get. And then for the other splatters, I did that on purpose. Just a little bit of white acrylic paint and a ton of water. And then you can see how translucent it gets. And then it looks like the splatters are really in the foreground. It makes it, I think, way more dimensional somehow. And it looks a little bit like bubbles. You know, water, turtles, you know. Does that make sense? This is left over from my chameleon journal. Do you remember this? I made this in a video and then I said I probably will put that into my chameleon journal, and then it didn't fit anymore or I forgot it. I don't know, but here it fits perfectly. And I love these alternating colors when it comes from this turquoise into the red and yellow and then back to the turquoise. It's like, yeah, not only the colors change, but also the mood of that somehow changes. Speaking about mood, I was a little bit aggressive and also a little bit grumpy when I started making this. It doesn't have anything to do with the journal itself. It doesn't have anything to do with YouTube or my job or whatever. I just was grumpy, yeah. So then with that aggression and the grumpiness, this came here. Also the flowers. I tried to mix some transparencies, printable transparencies with the other things. So this is also a page from the printable. And then I have just cut some elements out here. Also this. There will come a video about how I made this as well. And also with these splatters, you will have a lot of fun, I guess. Because, you know, I smashed some dandelions for this. Perhaps you have seen my reel from a few weeks ago. I didn't give up on that idea. This will come very soon. Be prepared. Take out some tissues. You will need them because of laughing. In the ephemera pack, there you will also find some quotes which you can use for making your journal. I will quickly show you the rest of my sheets here so that you can imagine how that looks. So this is a full sheet. There are some which are in this darker color, this dark brown and with white letters. And then there are also some which are in this lighter color and then with black writing. And these quotes are on the one hand the lyrics of the song, and on the other hand, snippets of the lyrics of the song. So I thought it could be cool to have the lyrics like little strips so that we can throw them into our journal where they fit. So we have all of the lines. Let me show you that on the full sheet. So you have the lines of the song here on the left. And then here on the right, you can see it's shorter and it's just snippets. So I looked at the lyrics and thought, okay, which parts of the lyrics could make sense as like smaller snippets? Let's make an example. For example, here it says, your eyes held the horizon, longing for a place to dream. That is one line from the song and it's here on one of these strips so that you can cut that out and use this whole thing. And here on the other side, I've divided that into smaller parts. Like, where is it now? Your eyes held the horizon. Yeah, that could be a nice quote for a tag or so in this short version. And longing for a place to dream is also separate here, so that you then can use that as two different things. And with that system, I made all of these so that you have shorter things as well. Could you cut these by yourself? Yes, obviously, but this is also like a little inspirational thing, you know, at least I did it, you know, on purpose like that, so that you have these little snippets. For example, gathered years, the bond we made, all my tears, in golden trembling light, also as smaller things. Also perhaps as a little help for you if you can't see that so well, where you could cut that. Yeah, it might be that you have problems with that. So here you have it already. And I thought that is something nice and special, and something perhaps a little bit unusual to what we normally know. And I wanted to have that for this printable, and I will, if you like that, probably do that in the future as well. And to be honest, even if you don't like it, I will do it again, because what is this? I mean, you know, I have written these lyrics and I want to have them in my journal, and then I will print them and do that. But I'm pretty sure that you will like that as well, because I know you. If you wouldn't like that, you wouldn't be here. Oh my goodness. Hopefully that was not too risky to say something like that. Yeah. Oh, by the way, if you want to know where to get this fluff, I got so many messages about this and questions about this. Search for eyelash trim and then look at the pictures which then come up very close, because normal eyelash trim is not that fluffy. Normal eyelash trim, I mean, this is a different color, obviously, is like this. Pretty rough compared to this. But this came up when I searched for eyelash trim. I don't know if there's a specific name for something fluffy like this. If yes, and you know the name, please just write it in the chat now. Then we can learn from each other. And yeah, perhaps there is a specific name for that. I don't know, but it's really fluffy and I wanted to have it there. I think that fits really well. Even, you know, if fluff and water doesn't have such a crazy connection. Oh my goodness. Sometimes I'm telling myself jokes that, oh my goodness, that brought me back to a situation. Oh my goodness, I can't tell you that, otherwise this video would take forever. You know, you wouldn't expect something fluffy where turtles are, yeah? I mean, if you have those turtles which are not in the water, then there could be something fluffy like this. But sea turtles and something fluffy, that is a contrast at first glance, isn't it? And that is exactly why I have chosen it. I mean, I could also have said, okay, I take some ribbon which reminds to seagrass, or I take wider ribbon and stamp some shells or turtle related words or whatever. But I wanted this. I wanted it exactly like that, especially when you close the journal and you think, turtles? What? I like that. When you not see what it is at first glance, and when it's like a little contrast somehow. I also, again, oh, excuse me, please, included some things I got in Happy Mails. Like these, for example. Also with these little quotes, here are 2 examples now from the sheet I've just shown you that night, because this reminded me to a moon, and all my tears, because this here looks like tears to me, but perhaps it's only for me like that, I don't know. And yes, this page tab functions as a little tuck spot here. When you make them big enough, you can use page tabs as tuck spots. That was pretty new to me. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm genius when I did that, because I have never done that before, and also I have never seen it before. But that doesn't mean that no one else has done it already. I'm pretty sure that something like that is already existing. Yeah. I'm so happy that I have this here now. Oh, and this, oh my goodness, this page. Oh, don't ask. It has driven me up the walls, but I'm so happy how this came out. There will come a video about this and how to make this wave effect with embossing powder as well in the close future. That looks, and now it looks really, really cool. I really like this page. I think this is one of my favorite pages so far in this journal. But when I made that and tried to find out how to do this, oh my goodness. But watch the video if you want to know how this was done. Then you don't need to experiment for 4 days, because I will show you how it's done. And you know, you can do other experiments and then show me. You don't need to spend your time with figuring this out, because I already have done it for you. That was one of those moments where I thought, what the heck am I doing here, and why can't I just have a normal job? And I also have the feeling that there will come, perhaps in autumn or so, a journal with these colors here. Look, this forest green with this, like, this is nearly, it isn't bundled sage, but it came out a little bit like bundled sage. And this orange I got from some oxide mediums on photo paper. And this is just a cool combination, isn't it? This label here is also from the vintage labels Der Schrank printable, and here are some of these snippets, and this is golden embossing powder. That looks absolutely cool. This is so autumn somehow, this little corner here, or even with this, that really fascinates me. And it shows that in a junk journal, you can do everything you want. Yeah, I mean, why can't you combine these things, even if it goes from autumn-ish to, yeah, well, this is somehow autumn as well. That's also why it is next to each other. But then here, you know, it's not autumn anymore. This is a printable from my shop as well. I will link that down below for you as well. This is again one of the journaling cards from the ephemera pack. And also these little banners you get with the ephemera pack. This I got in a Happy Mail as well. I thought that fits really, really well there. Look how cute that is. That is absolutely amazing. I have a second one here. And I think we should do something to the back of these cards as well. I thought about some doodling or so around these shapes. Could look good, but I'm not so sure. I haven't decided yet what I want to do there. This year, this belly band is made from one of the papers I had from my first What If episode. You know, I have started a little series, irregular-ish series on my channel, where I do some experiments, and the first few episodes are about paper dyeing, and this is what I made there in the first episode. Or not only this, yeah, but it's made from one of those papers. And perhaps you know this flower here from one of my reels. This is a fragment leaf in the background. That looks really cool because you nearly can't see it. It's so like invisible, but obviously it's there and you can feel it. That is something I really like. And then I have included here one of my layered flowers and these feathers. I think I want to put also more feathers somehow in the journal. Feathers and turtles, does that go together in your brain? I mean, I have never touched a turtle, but I'm assuming that if you would... Oh, wait. Yeah, it's pretty hard. I'm just joking. I'm assuming that if you would touch this in real life, yeah, then it's totally different to how a feather feels. But isn't that the cool thing? I mean, when we can have these contrasts here, isn't that just the coolest thing, that we can do what we want? And if we want the feathers here, then we just put them there. And perhaps even if then those people, you know, I've talked about earlier, say, yeah, well, but here, flowers, turtles, feathers, that is not a theme. And you can say, yes, it is a theme because it is my journal. I can do what I want. If I want feathers in combination with turtles, if I want to use a honeycomb stencil to make this here because this pattern reminds to turtle pattern. I can do that, and I have done this here, and I'm proud. Isn't that also something that can bring you forward somehow? I mean, when you do something like this, and when you think about what I said earlier, and these thoughts I had when I made this journal and the paper collection and the song, and especially the lyrics for the song, isn't that something that is worth thinking about, doing and developing for yourself? I mean, for me, it's not necessarily important that you say, I put myself into a crowd of people and I need to have my opinion in that crowd of people. It's not so important, but I think it's important that we have an opinion about what we have done, not for the other people, but for yourself. But if you say it in front of other people, this opinion, I think it can also get stronger for yourself. And that is the reason, and that is nearly the only reason why I would say, tell your opinion, show your art to other people, to get a feedback, to be able to speak about what you have done, what your opinion is, what you feel about this, your emotions behind your art, no matter if it's junk journaling, music, or whatever you do. Tell that to the people to get a stronger opinion about that, but for yourself. Yeah, because you are the only person who needs to like this. If you are satisfied with this, everything is done and everything went just perfect. There's absolutely no need that other people like this. Yeah, if they tell you that this is just paper, it looks like, you know, who cares? It's your journal. Bye. See you the next time. Sometimes I have the feeling, sometimes I sound aggressive or so, but to be honest, some things also make me aggressive because there are so many people who say, I think you could find their names in the dictionary where it says trolls. We don't give anything on the opinion of trolls, yeah? And I think sometimes we need trolls to find our own strength and to also stay behind our opinion. But trolls are also worth to be ignored. Do you know what I mean? But there are things which are also coming from people from the community who are no trolls. And that sometimes makes me really aggressive because I think, well, it's your journal. Do what you want. And if you want to have these colors... Oh my goodness. My phone just wanted to remind me that Tim is live in 5 minutes. Because I'm recording this on the Saturday before... What is today for you? Tuesday. And I set an alarm so that I don't miss Tim's live. No, my phone was a little bit loud. I'm so sorry. But we will finish this here, obviously, before I run to Tim. I have 5 minutes. Yeah, look here. I mean, this is so cool. I love this combination of this. I mean, this is like ocean, isn't it? And the colors and the stamp and this is like little sea flowers. You know, this is stamped on the paper. It's ocean. And here, bam, autumn. Do you know what I mean? I really like this contrast. I'm hoping that you like that as well. And if you want to do it completely different, then I'm obviously excited what you will do with this paper collection and what comes to your mind and what you then will show me perhaps on social media or so. Of course, you can post what you have done on Instagram, Facebook, or wherever you like. I would be really, really happy to see some of your creations as well. So if you are interested in the paper collection, please find the links down below in the description box. If you have any questions, no matter what it is, regarding the paper collection, regarding whatever, please let me know. either in the comments, or you can also write me on a message on Instagram. Please don't message me on Facebook. It takes forever until I see it there, because that is just really, really difficult to handle the messages there. I don't know who has made that like it is, but the best way to contact me is first via my shop, second email, third Instagram. End of the list. Well, comment under the video. Yeah, that would also, of course, be possible. And please don't be shy. Yeah, if you have any questions, no matter what it is, just write me a message and I will not immediately, as soon as possible, answer. Please notice that when you are from overseas that we have some time differences. Yeah, I need some sleep sometimes as well. So if you write your message when it's night here, then, it takes a while until I can answer you, but we are talking about a few hours. Yeah, please be patient. And yeah, that's it for today. I will now pet this journal a little bit. And then we will hopefully see the next time. Thanks very, very much for watching and for being in the chat. Ooh. Do I need this fluff on the cover somehow as well? Perhaps. I will think about that, and then you will see, of course, also what I will do to the cover here, because it will not stay like it is. I can't tell you now how much of the process of that I can film, because, when I work on a cover, it's like one chance to get it nice, but we will see. Perhaps that is also then a little bit of a surprise or so, what will come for the future videos. I wish you a very, very great and creative day, and I'm really hoping we will see the next time. Thanks for being here with me. Bye.
You sat alone where restless waves stamp secrets in the silent sand. Like a quiet turtle tucked inside a shell the world can't understand. Your eyes held the horizon, longing for a place to dream. All the hurt you pressed between pages, behind a gentle emerald sheen. I wandered down the shoreline, pockets full of gathered years. Like a quiet turtle, scared to let love tide drown all my tears. But when our shadows touched that dusk in golden trembling light, we peeked out from our hiding place. The whole sea paused that night. We are Raggedy Turtle Bloom. Ooh, shipwrecked souls that chase the sun. Slow with the weathered shells, but now we journey on and on and on. Every page we stitch together, every shell we leave behind. In a world that rushes past us, I found your hand in mine. No storm will ever break apart the bond we made from ruins. We are Raggedy Turtle Bloom, wild and bright, a loving tune. You taught me how to listen to the lullabies of waves, to trust a battered heart can't find the rhythm that it craves. You taught me how to open to the rain and let it heal. We built a home from driftwood scraps where whispered hopes are real. Loving you was learning how to breathe beneath the tide. Impossible and wondrous when we stop the urge to hide and let them say we're too late, too lost, too hidden to belong. They don't see how turtles blossom when the world feels so wrong. The gentlest touch can turn a shadow shell into home for two. We're not what they all expected, but I'm so glad that I've got you. We are Raggedy Turtle Bloom. Ooh, shipwrecked souls that chase the sun. Oh, moving slow with the weather shells, but now we journey on and on and on. Every page we stitch together, every shell we leave behind. In a world that rushes past us, I found your hand in mine. No storm will ever break apart the bond we made from ruins. We are Raggedy Turtle Bloom, wild and bright, a loving tune. We are Raggedy Turtle Bloom, wild and bright at the edge of the world with you.